Hello, I'm MagdalineJanet, and here we're gonna start the 3 looks, but let's look at this palette. Okay. Look at this packaging. Oh my god, beautiful. The shade names are on the back with the top row and second row, and this is how the palette looks in its brand new glory. Beautiful. It has the piece imprinted on the matte shades. We have shimmers, glitters, and cream shades here. And you guys, I couldn't do swatches live to show you because my swatch game is not the greatest. I just need more practice. But these are the shades in order of the top to bottom rows. It is Loyal, Affair, Desire, Light, Romance, Adore. Second row, starting with that cream, Unfaithful, Heartache, Passion, Devotion, Amour, and Crush. And look how beautiful these swatch. Like, these were all just one swipe and very pigmented. It's literally like arm candy, huh? Okay, let's start. Starting with look number 1, we're gonna prime with this e.l.f. eye primer, lay it on the lid, and then blend it out with our finger. The finger really warms up that product, so we can go straight in. We're starting with the shade Amour and just placing it on the crease. As you can see, I'm doing tapping motions. That will give us the most pigment, and it's pretty gentle on the eye, and just tapping it until I get it as pigmented as possible. Then I start at the edge of the eye. I wanted a bit of an elongated shape, so that's what I'm doing. Using the shade Crush, which is a light pink matte shade, we're just going to diffuse that crease. Going back in with Amour, just really getting that crease a little darker. Using this concealer, we're going to start cutting the crease. I don't like to do super sharp cut creases, but this one kind of turned out to be. And blending it out with my finger so it's not too harsh. Going back in with Amour just to make sure those lines aren't super harsh. Going back in with Crush and just tapping over that wet concealer so that pigment is really on there. And then after tapping, I kind of like blend it. Using the shade Devotion, which is a darker plum shade, we're going to start going at the end of the eye and deepening up that corner. Using Devotion to blend out that harsh line. You see how in the middle with the light shade and the darker shade it's harsh? You want to go back and forth, make sure that one's nicely blended and it's not too harsh. Going in with this eyeliner brush and using the shade Unfaithful. It is the dark plum cream. You guys, this glided on like butter. It was the creamiest cream I've ever used. And then back in, just reinforcing our steps a little bit. And ooh, using the shade Heartache, we're gonna get this flat brush and start tapping it onto the cream, setting the cream and really making that eyeliner dark. This is the deepest matte shade of the palette, and it worked out so well. Using the same brush and getting Devotion, buffing it out on the lower lash line. Using the same brush we use Heartache, we're going to hit it right closely in the lower lash line so it's nice and dark, and then we have that gradient going. And I winged it out so it matches the cream wing. I don't know, I just liked how that looked. And then using my LA Girl Bright Liner, hitting it on the lower lash line. It's going to brighten up the whole look. Ugh. Alright fam, this is look number 1 in all mattes look. Starting off with my P. Louise base, we're going to hit it on the crease. Per the usual, blend it out. Starting off with Amour, we're going to tap it right on the crease with this fluffy brush. You see how pigmented it is? Now we're just tapping and blending, tapping and blending. Tapping will help you place that product, and then the blending will just buff it out for you. Using Heartache with a smaller brush, we're going to concentrate it right on the crease, making that crease very dark. doing tapping motions and then blending it out. And I kind of started winging it out a little bit. Using Crash, we're going to start blending out those edges so they don't look super harsh and we have a nice grading going. And then I didn't know what to use, so we're going to use Romance with the finger. Look how pretty this glitter is. We're going to tap it all over the lid. I really found that the finger works the best with these shimmers. I'm like tapping it in, working it in. Then with this brush, I get the little areas my finger can't get. And you guys, there was no fallout with these. Like what? Okay, back in Heartache and just blending the glitters and reinforcing our crease. Using Amor, blending out again. Using my KVD tattoo liner in the brown shade. I think it's called Mad Max Brown. Creating a thin, super thin wing. Then cleaning it up with this Q-tip. Full face, going in with LA Girl Super Bright Liner. Girl, we're about to brighten these eyes up. With this flat brush, we're going to use Heartache. And again, keep it super close to the lower lash line. I like a very close lower lash line. I don't like it too buffed out, but you know, if you like buffed out, do it. Going in with Amor and then just blending that out. You see it creates a pretty soft gradient. I didn't show you, but I got the shade Adore. It's the gold glitter and I hit it right in the inner corner so it can brighten up the eyes a little bit. And oh my gosh, this is look number 2. Such a pretty look. It's my favorite. I mean, they're all my favorite, but you know. Okay, let's move on to look number 3. Starting off with some Scotch tape. We're gonna add it at the end of the eye. I'm measuring it with the lower lash line, making sure it's lined up with my brow. Using the shade Crush, we're really just setting the concealer I placed down as primer. I'm doing tapping motions, building it up. Using the lightest cream shade Loyal, we're just gonna add it all over the lid with this brush. I'm just tapping it on. Using Passion, hitting it right on the crease, and the tape is helping me guide and making sure our line is super sharp. Concentrating it right on the crease. Really building that up. It looks a little harsh, but we're gonna fix it. Using Crush to get rid of those harsh lines. You see how it's just softening up? And then using Heartache. And here I'm just tapping the shade on the lid. And the tape is helping me guide that area. You can make it as thick or as thin as possible. Grabbing the shade Adore with the finger, you guys, so pretty. Just again, tapping it over, all over the lid now. And then going back to the liner because some glitter got on there. So, you know, just reinforcing our steps. Using Fenty's liner. You guys know I love this thing. This is just going to darken that liner up a little bit. Back in because I still wanted the buffed out liner effect. Back into our crease, reinforcing our steps. Using Crush, again, blending those edges out. And girl, look at this. But then I didn't like it, so I had to add and bring it down a little lower. That's how I wanted it. Okay, going in with Heartache. Again, keeping it super close in the lower lash line. A small brush is really helpful because you see how it's just creating the thin line for us. And then using Passion to buff the lower lash line out. Passion has like a very cool undertone that I really liked. Back in with our LA Girl. You guys, I just love this liner. I can't use another liner, but you can use a brown if you want. Using Adore and just hitting it right in the inner corner to brighten those bad boys up. You guys, this is look number 3. Oh my gosh, I love this one too. But I do have an outro and a review of the palette, so please stay till the end and I'll see you in the outro. This is the third and final look using Patrick Ta's Major Dimension 2 palette. This is how the palette looks. You guys saw how beautiful it is. Okay, so let's talk about it. When I first looked at it, I wasn't excited. I love the tones. The tones are beautiful. They're way up my alley. They're not really neutral. They're like a neutral plum. And I like that because it can take you from the spring to the fall to the winter. I like a palette that's gonna last a long time. But then when I looked at it, I'm like, it has so many shimmers. Like these two are shimmers, and then you get here, the ones I use are more of a glitter finish, which is not my favorite, no lie. I was just like, I don't know, like how is that gonna work? You know, especially spending like 60 something dollars on a palette. But when I tell you, I added it on the lid looks so beautiful, so shimmery, and we didn't have glitter falling all over down on the face. That's one of the main reasons I don't like any sort of glitter on my lid. It doesn't stay on the lid, it kind of just falls everywhere. And something about these shimmers, once you place it, especially when you like press it down on your lid, it stood there and it kind of shined throughout the day. So you had a very, very shimmery look without adding additional glitters or shimmers, you know? So I really like that. When I used it, I was like, oh, I see what all the hype's about. And these are so creamy. I didn't get to use them. You guys saw, look how creamy these are. I just like this palette. I think it worked out very well. And these creams, girl. These creams were beautiful. You guys saw, first look, I did do an eyeliner, and today I set it down as a base, and I liked it because it's very, very movable. It's a very, very creamy formula. It doesn't crease, and when you place product on top of it, it doesn't create patches, which can happen when you're using creams, because look at this eye. It's amazing. So this palette is really, really good. It's a little different though. Here we have glitters, shimmers, mattes, and creams. So we have a bunch of different formulas that you can work with and learn different techniques with this one particular palette without bringing out anything else, which is what I love to do when I create these multiple looks using one palette. I literally just want to use the palette and some eye primer and call it a day, because that's the purpose of it, for you to see one palette in use, not one palette along with 5 different other things. So overall, this palette is a yes for me. Not only is it aesthetically beautiful, it actually is a very functional palette. The shades are highly pigmented. The mattes literally blend like butter. It's not too pigmented either. Get the right amount and it blends out so effortlessly. Like this look didn't take a long time, and that's always what I'm all about. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy I was able to do these looks for you. And of course, let me know which one is your favorite look. Did you pick this up on the Sephora sale? Have you seen it? Let me know your thoughts. You guys know we're always chit-chatting in the comments. And I think this is it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me and spending a little bit of your day with me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!